Right, I think we're live. I'm just going to plug in my laptop. Forgot that. So if you guys are here joining, then do obviously drop your questions down below. That'll be down below. Let me just put a little banner. Get a banner going. Oh, I've just eaten some really, really spicy crisps. They're really too spicy. My girlfriend's going to laugh at me. She's like, they're not spicy Mexican. Guys, let me know how your business is going. How's it going? I just had a great conversation whilst plugging in my laptop around repricing. And 1 second, I've got a fly which is flying around. So I'll give you an update on my business, how we're looking. Both businesses are doing quite well. We're quite happy with the results. I'll kind of give you an update on the old seller storefront. Seller storefront, I don't know. This is the stats so far. You can see there. You can see a nice. We're going up. Like we've had a good QJs like today. You can see today and yesterday. Quite happy with that. USA, not too sure of the numbers, but actually I did see some numbers. Let me have a quick look on the USA list. So if you guys are here, I appreciate you probably watching the World Cup right now. So 1 second, if you are here, do let me know. Drop your questions down below, but I will also just go live on Instagram. Give me 2 seconds. Just want to make sure we'll start the live. Fantastic. Cool. So let me just go @seller toolkit and I'll talk you through my USA ones. But I just had a really good conversation with a really big seller around repricing. Told me top tips and tricks, talking about like putting your price up, putting your price down, when to kind of like how to reprice, what to do. This guy definitely a way bigger seller than me. Definitely multiple 7 figures, 8 figures, actually multiple 8 figures. So really, really big. USA kind of steady today. I'll kind of show you the numbers. So we're like 3 o'clock. So like there we go, like 35% ROI. Nothing great, but we're okay. So yeah, you can kind of see like the margins. You can see like the sales. The sales are kind of steady. Like they're kind of a bit up and down still. Not as good as the UK. Still really trying to get that stock in, getting it sold. Obviously, we were like, a couple of weeks ago, we were buying so much. We're still buying so much in stock. I think last week they spent like 82,000 in stock in the UK, which is incredible. That was like 3 times what I bought in the USA. It's absolutely incredible. But like it had a real big difference. So that's a good thing. So like sales are definitely good. We're seeing the ROIs. The ROIs, by the way, in the UK, I think. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to check it on my actual thing. What are we getting in the UK? We did see them. They came in and they were really like. I'm pretty happy with them. We do report them in a slightly different way. But the ROIs, I think we're probably around about 25%, which I'm pretty pleased with. What did we get yesterday? Actually, I could be wrong. Tell a lie. No, 19.95. Although I'll see if I can share that for you. I'll show you my SDK from yesterday. Let me just kind of log in if anyone wants to see. But 19.95. But we did, I think. 1 second. Yesterday. Yeah. But 25% ROI, steady. We did do $2,000, nearly $2,000 in profit. I'll take that. That's pretty good. I'll take nearly $2,000. I mean, we normally do like 1,500 in a month, in a day. Sorry, so that's like we did like $2,000 yesterday. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's pretty good. Refunds 4%. Just check that, see how it goes. But I had also a good conversation today around repricing. So let's kind of go through a couple of questions coming in. Gaming Mama, hey Gaming Mama, how are you getting on? Oh, by the way, if you are live on Instagram, I can see you. We've got. Let's just kind of do it now. Oh my God, get it right, Tom. Get it on. If you guys are here, we're doing lots of. Oh my God, let's get to the right one. Change it over. If you're on Instagram, do let me know. I can see you. And let me just do this. Turn that down. Okay, if you're on Instagram, I can see you. I'm right here. So let me know if you've got questions on Instagram. I can see you. So we've got Harun, Hassan. I don't know if I can get that right. Amut, Alex UK FBA. And I'll come back to that question. So guys, drop your question down below. Gaming Mama has asked, should I drink some Hershey's chocolate orange? Definitely not promotion here. Although Hershey's do ever want to sponsor me, I'd be quite happy. Just I'm in a hotel. So hi Tom, please advise, what do you do when the original listing changes? For example, someone changed the product flavor and picture after I send the inventory, my sales have been returned. I think 2 things. I would try and get it, I'd try and change it back to what it was. And then number 2, if not, I'd raise a case in Seller Central. Other than that, unless you're the original listing owner, you can't really do very much because it's someone else's listing and you're selling on it. And unfortunately, these do happen. There's a lot of like Chinese sellers like try and sell something really high volume, get loads of reviews, and then change the listing to something else and sells their product so it looks really good. It does happen, but it's an absolute pain. but you've got to go speak to, like, try and change it back or speak to Seller Central. So it's not an easy option. So sorry, but these things do happen. I'm just going to kind of jump over to Instagram because we've got a comment come over, which I will kind of copy across. One second, I'm just going to do it now. So I don't know if I can. Well, it's really annoying fly coming around. See if I can. No, just over here. That's it. That's all it's doing. I'll kind of put it in here as well. So I'm going to do a quick question here. This is kind of like, God, whenever I post, it posts on. Oh, I might just change it to one. Post it to that one. That's fine. So question comes here is, why is flipping, this is on Instagram, so Haran Assad has answered this, why is flipping of good FBA wholesale accounts not practiced commonly? So you mean like buying an FBA wholesale account and flipping it? Because buying is really, you're buying companies, not accounts. You know, you can't buy an Amazon selling account. You buy a company which has an Amazon selling account. And when you buy the company, you've got to buy all the assets, liabilities, you've got to do all the legal, like that's hard work. That's exactly what you do with private label. You're buying the account, buying the company, which has an account. Well, you can't just buy the account. The account is linked to the company, so that's why it doesn't work. Let me know if that answers the question. Amazon deal list and Meti Yogun on Instagram. I can see you down here. Let me know if you guys got questions. Let me know if you've got questions. It's going to go Simon Jones. Hey, Simon Jones. Hey, Tom. Do you always avoid where listings? Okay, 1 second. Hey, Tom. Do you always avoid listings where Amazon are on it? We try to. By the way, the guy I was interviewing today, I've recorded it. We'll launch it in like 2 weeks' time or something. He did a really good analysis of his deals, and this guy's doing 8 figures, wholesale. And he basically looked at his margin, and he looked at the margin relative to how much time Amazon are on the listing or out of stock as a percentage of time. And he basically found that when Amazon were a high percentage of time on the listing, his margin would be lower. Like, so across thousands of ASINs, he's a wholesaler. He basically said, like, when I'm on listings competing against Amazon, then sorry, my phone's going off. So when and my girlfriend's about to answer it, so there'll be background noise. So when there's lots of sellers on Amazon, when there's oh my god, when there's lots of when there's listings with Amazon on it, his profit's lower. But when there's listings not got Amazon, his profit's higher. And the higher percentage of time Amazon's in stock on that listing, the lower his profit margin is. That's it. It's a really great, like it's a straight correlation. Like it's really interesting. So yeah, we do. We hide. We don't do it against Amazon listings. So I hope that makes sense. 1 second. Guys, if you have questions, drop them down below. Fantastic, cool. Let's drop that comment in. So coming in, gaming mana. Here we go. So it's common. I thought I saw it somewhere else. Yeah, it does. It does happen. It's not that common. Like you got to think there's millions of ASINs. Gaming mana, like people don't really change listings that often, but like it does. It can happen. And by the way, if you don't own the listing, that's going to be like things for you. So do think about that, and like it's just going to be like for you is like the idea is to say that if you don't own the listing, then it can happen. It's a real shame, but it does happen. So let's go jump through. Gaming Mama, what software are you using when you showed your ROI? That's STK. FastTrackFBA.com/STK. You'll get there. It's a toolkit. That's it. It's what we use to do our calculations. It's good. It does repricing, inventory management. We quite like it. We use it in conjunction with another software, but it's like a key piece that we do, which is just kind of helping support us. And if anyone wants to know what that is, that was like this bit one here. Going to update, isn't it? Let's do it. Oh, my fly friend is back. And we got. Oh my god, missed him. That one. That's the one you're looking at. That's SDK. So yeah, that's cool. Let's kind of go through ADA. Questions, let me know. So hi Tom, I'm doing OA for home and kitchen category. Fantastic. I heard that was an $8 billion a month category. It's massive. The part that is hard for me is when I see price in retail stores do not match the maximum cost on SaaS. The price is high and not profitable at all. Yeah, welcome. Like here's the thing. Like yeah, that's the hard bit. What you're trying to do is find trying to find deals. And the net result is that if you can't find profitable deals, you're not going to get a profitable company. I think a really good rule of thumb is you're going to check 100 deals, you might find one deal that is profitable, and that's if you're being a bit smart. You could probably get down to 50 if you're good. But yeah, like you're not going to go in and just find retail stores and like, oh, another one, another one, another one, another one. Like it doesn't happen. You've got to keep going, keep going. Amazon's been around for a long time. People are dropping their prices. You're not going to get that big a discrepancy. So you've got to keep sourcing, keep finding. You will find them, and then once you find them, you've got to think about, okay, what did I do to find that? How can I do that again? That's it. So keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Sourcing is hard. Storefront stalking is a good methodology. Storefront stalking. What else you got? You've got reverse sourcing. That's a good one. By the way, when you do find the one that works, do leaf sourcing. So leaf sourcing is kind of like we found the cat food, for example. Like we found the cat food chicken flavor. And then we go, oh, why don't we look at the beef flavor? Oh, well, that's another one. Cool. Why don't we look at the fish flavor? Oh, there's another one. And you'll find that all of them are at the right price, and now they become profitable. That's generally the way we find them. And like, you just got to keep trying, keep trying. It takes time. I promise you that. But welcome to business. Like, this isn't easy. This is the bit where you add value. This is where you make your money by buying low. ADA, let me know down below if that answers your question. And Gaming Mama, let me know if that answers your questions as well down below. Let's jump over to Sean. Hey, Sean, good to see you. See, you're quite a regular now joining my lives. Thank you. I'm definitely not sponsored by Hershey's, but this is really good, delicious chocolate. If anyone likes Hershey's, let me know down below. So Sean said, your VA we got, so he hired a VA from Fast Track FBA VA Academy. He did hire from version 1. He was one of the very first customers, now we're on version 2. So she creates new listings for us, for our company, every single week now. Yeah, so coming back to Gaming Mama talked about someone's changed the listing, which is really frustrating. So I'm just going to put it up here. So Gaming Mama talked about this, change the listing, what's going on. And what we did say was that if you don't own the listing, then other people can change it. It does happen. Unless it's part of Amazon brand registry, like within their protected ASINs, but like most of them aren't. And then the idea here is to say that actually, Sean's got one VA creating like listings for him. So it could be like bundle products, for example, like that works. These things are quite useful. So he's got his VA, which he hired, admittedly from us. Charlie, I remember her. She's a great VA. I actually interviewed her myself and placed her myself. That was really, really good. But he gets her to create new listings, which I think is really important. So Sean, thank you so much. And Gaming Mama, thanks Tom, as always. Guys, if you've got questions down below, Gaming Mama, give me a big thumbs up if you like it. Give me a big thumbs up as well. I'll kind of talk you through some numbers. So if you want to know, yesterday, the one thing I want to show you, it's like I showed you earlier on, like these are our numbers from yesterday. ROI is up. I normally recommend 20% or at 25. I'm happy, but I'm pretty happy because we did nearly 1,700, so we wouldn't really track that high. And the net result is that we are just seeing those sales increasing. What I am doing is I'm playing with my repricer. I'm playing with it just slightly, maybe drop like a 1%, drop the ROI slightly just by 1% on it, or like maybe increase it by 1% if sales are pretty good. I'm just trying to balance. I'm not getting too many sales. I'm not getting too few. And then what I'm really going to do is do it next week. So next week I'm just going to play with it and see how it goes through. But this week's kind of like the preempt. Right now I'm on holiday, so I'm not really going to do too much. Next week's the week where this weekend, next weekend is going to be this weekend and early next week is going to be when all the sales come in, because that's when everyone's buying last minute. My God, I've got to buy them well. Note to self: buy Christmas presents. Do that. So that's a really important point. And then in the USA, we're just seeing it as well. I mean, today, now I'll show you the numbers. It's just updated for now. We're at 19% ROI today. So it's literally just come in. So it's updating. So again, we're coming back to 20%. So sometimes we go up to 25, sometimes we're down to 20, but nothing particularly amazing. I think in the UK right now, it's 10 o'clock at night. So we'll probably end on 9 o'clock at night. So we'll probably end on 11,000 pounds in sales, and just over 1,000 in profit. So I'll take that 20% ROI. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Guys, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to show you. I can see your beautiful faces. Jimmy Montel, AMZ Dealist has joined as well. If you guys are on Instagram, I can see you. You are here. Do. Drop your comments. I can see you. So Jay Kaplan said, "Hey Tom, when starting off, do you recommend getting an accountant straight away or waiting a couple of months?" Wait. And I'd probably really recommend, look, there's no harm right now having conversations with a lot of accountants, talking about them, understanding, accountants, understanding what's going on, in getting that conversation. Like you can do that and it doesn't cost you anything. But I think, like, and just making sure that your kind of idea is right. Good accountants will probably say, look, it sounds like you know what you're doing. Do that and come back to us in like a couple of months' time once you've made some sales and you'll be good. A bad accountant will be telling you that you need to sign up right now. I say that, not exactly, but like if they're trying to sell you, I probably don't think they'll be a good accountant you want to go with. If they're a good accountant who like are going to do a good, honest business, they'll be like, look, you're doing a good, like you kind of know what you're doing. Watch out for this. Go do that, and then come back and see us in a couple of months' time when you've made some sales. Because what they don't want to do is get you onboarded, start charging you the fee, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm not doing Amazon anymore. I don't want to pay it. Like it was a pain just to try and get you on board. So they'll probably just try and like get you on board once you've actually started making sales. And you can always do the accounts after the end of the first year. So, my thoughts behind it, and I'm not a financial advisor, so do speak to an accountant properly, is you can probably wait until about 10 months in and then start the process of like hiring an accountant, going through that, and they'll do it all. Like in the UK, for example, you don't need to file your accounts until after the year. Like you got 10 months after the end of the first financial year of the limited company to file. In the USA, I think they're done annually, so they have to be done at certain times of the year. So if you're in the USA, you got to kind of like, I'd probably recommend around like now November time to do it. Obviously, if you've incorporated in this year, you will have to file accounts for next year. But again, I'd probably speak to an accountant. But I'll speak to an accountant now. Just speak to a couple, see what they say. You say like you're going around, you're trying to compare prices. What do they recommend? Here's your idea, and they'll kind of talk through. And then you'll just get a feel for the right ones. But the best ones should probably tailor. You probably don't need us right now because you're just getting started. Come back in a few months' time. So I hope that makes sense. Mr. Awalski and Mr. Sequel 1364. I hope I'm saying that right. Instagram. Hey, just gonna write hey. Seller Pro. Hi Tom. I'm finding great deals but facing order cancellations. More than 10k worth of cancelled orders as of now. I'm really frustrated by the way my shipping and billing address is different. Does happen. Like, so top tips I can recommend around order cancellations. Number one, try and make your billing and shipping address the same. You've got to change it on your credit card. Number two, that helps out. Number two, use a VPN, preferably a VPN close to the location. Number three is, one second. Number three is, yeah, so number three is just be mindful of the supplier. Some of the suppliers are really anti-reseller, so they'll cancel. Some of them aren't, and that you can just put through multiple orders, or you might have to use different accounts. And then I think the final one, obviously check your credit card. But I think the final one, and probably the most important one that I can say above all of them, is just call the supplier. Like honestly, call the supplier. Like you don't have to pretend to be you. You can pretend to be someone else, or like you got it cancelled. You can be you. If they're cancelling all your orders, call the supplier and find out. And like they'll tell you, like they tell you, like, oh, we got flagged on our system, or like we ran out of stock, or X, Y, and Z. And then you can make a decision about, do I really want to deal with this supplier? Because at the end of the day, even if the supplier has the best deals in the world, if you can't buy any of them, it doesn't mean anything. So you might just stop selling. So I hope that kind of makes sense. It's a really good point. I'm going to jot it down into my, I'm just going to put it into my list. Stay there. I'm going to put it into my little list. And if I can do that, then obviously I can help you guys out. 1 second. Tasks. Install. Cool. So yeah, so order cancellations I think is a really good point. Yeah, fantastic. So Seller Pro, let me know down below if that answers your questions. Then obviously I can help you out. Let me go, guys. You've got questions. Does SDK work out gross profit? So kind of like, you've got to be a bit careful. So 1 second, I'm just going to kind of do something. You've got to kind of be a bit careful. 1 second, I'm just want to put this in. What's it? Order cancellations. Order cancellations. Fine. So with so if I kind of share. So like these are my figures for today. So these numbers here, I don't think they're I wouldn't classify them as purely gross profit. So that 7972. I'm trying to show you. You have you have numbers which come down the bottom. So the 972 at the top is really kind of like the profit of the products only. Now I like when we talk about gross profit, in my eyes, I classify gross profit as revenue minus direct taxes for that. So like VAT, for example, or sales tax, minus the cost of goods, and then minus like the FBA fee, referral fee, closing fee, and maybe the prep fee and the prep fee. So once I've taken all those out, I would be, and also the ship to Amazon fee from my warehouse, then that would be classified as gross profit for me. Why? Because after that gross profit figure, then I would take out the cost of my VAs, my tools, for example, my salary, and then I get net profit of the company. So the reason is that number at the top, that one right there, doesn't include Amazon selling account fee. It doesn't include your ship to inbound Amazon fees. If you account for them in your FBA fee, it's fine, but then like they come out of SDK in a different part. It doesn't include things like, kind of storage fees, which I do think are kind of part of it. It could be part of it, not. Like it doesn't include like customer return fees as well, which I would kind of bundle all into that selling cost. So I wouldn't classify that as gross profit. I'd say it's kind of a really good indicator, but I don't think it is. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Let's kind of jump through. Ricardo, hey Tom, did you end up taking that £681,000 loan in the end? We only took about 320 of it. Interesting enough, my business is in decline like this while this is showing up. I'll show you the sexy / unsexy sales chart. So it's probably about 3 months ago, 12 months. Look, this is the graph. Can you see? It's going down. It's going down, down, down. Like my business is failing. Well, it kind of, I say it kind of was. We changed stuff. We focused more on profitability and revenue. But this end down here, this is last month that we popped up. This is this month so far. So by the way, we're only on the 14th of this month, so we'll end up high. So we're going back up again. And we always knew we would. But what we had is we took the around here, I think it was, around there is when the offer came in. We didn't take it all, and Amazon came back to us and said, your sales are in decline, what's going on? And we had to kind of give an explanation. So we didn't take it all. We took about 320,000, but they did ask the question like, what's going on? And it had, I had to give them justification behind it. But like since then they've come back and offered again the same amount of loan, like 340,000. So we've accepted that one. We took another 90K and we spent it in Q4. So yeah, it does help. It does help. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Ricardo, let me know down below if there's anything else you want me to answer. Sonia, hi Tom, do you avoid oversized items? Not necessarily. We just make sure they're profitable, like really profitable, because obviously your calculator will add in the cost of FBA, but your calculator won't add in the cost of the increase. Like you're going to get less units in the boxes. So we just add to make sure the profit's a bit higher cash wise. That kind of helps out. Yeah, we won't say no, but we'll see. Some people do really good money on oversized. Jay Kaplan. Okay, so what would I have to do in my first few months of not having accounting? Would it be a factor in keeping track of expenses? But top tip for you, if you're not sure about accounting, my advice to you, if you've got a limited company, like I like Xero in the UK, and I prefer Xero even in the US. We don't use QuickBooks just because everyone does, but I would probably recommend Xero. I really like it. Like at a very fundamental level of accounting, what you're really you can get our Amazon Mastery course, which is all my accounting, inventory management, processes, SOPs, everything we do. They're all available now. In the accounting section, a fundamental level, what you want to do is two things. Number one, get some accounting software, which would most likely be something like Xero. And you connect that up to your bank accounts and you pull in all the transactions and you make sure all those transactions you have the invoices for. That works. And then the other one is you probably want another bit of software called A2X or Link My Books. Link My Books is cheaper. And then that's going to pull in all the Amazon data to your accounting software. Now, what that's going to do is then just kind of start pulling all, get all the data together, and that's going to allow you to like create the accounts correctly. Now, SDK, the software which I just showed you, is great. We really recommend using them, but you don't actually if you actually tell a lie, this software you could probably use to start with, like for the first couple of months. Not a problem. And then after 5 months, you might want to think about getting Xero or something. You backdate it and then just pull in all the old data and collect it. But really, like from an accounting perspective, you need to file accounts. And unfortunately, this software here isn't accounting software. It's like Amazon P&L software, which is like helpful for Amazon sellers, but it doesn't work with what the governments want. So I think number one is, Jay Kaplan, when you're speaking to all the accountants, ask them what you should be doing. Number one, they'll probably say get accounting software, import it all. It's okay. You probably wait a couple of months, get some sales first. And you probably just get by with that, but it's not really accounting software. If you're doing just accounting, import your books, link my books, import it all into Xero, and start, just making sure you get the right transactions in there. That's it. I hope that makes sense. Guys, if you're on Instagram, I can see you. I am listening. I'm watching. I've got you here. Say hi. Do drop a hi, drop a thing down below. If you're enjoying the live stream, drop me a love heart, hit me a like. Honestly, I am here to help. So let's go and jump through Gaming Mama. Tom, I never thought I'd be doing this, but I found myself a single parent recently with a lot of issues, but you've been so motivating. Thank you so much, honestly. And I'm sorry about the situation. I really am. One thing I'd just say is I've hustled hard and it seems to be working. Well done. Big thanks. Honestly, respect to you, massive. The one thing I will say is, I was talking to my girlfriend today. I was talking about someone else. I was saying, it's always when the biggest challenges face us or the biggest problems, we look at them and go, I can't believe that happened. Like, this is horrible, it's awful. But the worst, the worst scenarios, the worst things that happen to us, a lot of the time turn around and give us perspective, give us opportunities, and give us things we're really grateful for. How many people were like, I've lost my job, I've lost everything, but actually it's allowed me to appreciate what's really important in life. And I think that's a really important point. So, I'm really sorry to hear about your situation, but also well done to you for working hard. And I'm glad I can be a motivation. Obviously, you know where I am when you need me, but yeah, keep smashing it, keep smashing the game. Let's go through. Hit the like button if you like that. If you like this, if you like Gaming Mama, and want to say a big well done to Gaming Mama for obviously going through. By the way, being a single parent, I've got a nephew. He's 3 years old. I can't look after him. Like, it's too much. Like a couple of hours, that's it. But being a single parent, honestly, massive respect. Honestly, big respect to that. Hit the like button. Hit the love heart. If you've got massive respect for Gaming Mama, keep it real. Honestly, well done. Jay Lee, do I need to generate invoices most of the time? Only for business customers? Only for business customers, as far as I'm aware. By the way, if you're VAT registered, I think Amazon do it automatically, so you don't need to worry. But yeah, that's my kind of advice for you. That's only if if you're VAT registered. So yeah, I think that'll kind of help you out. But yeah, nothing. You don't need to do it for everyone. Not a problem. Let's go jump to Dan King. Hey, how's it going? Glad to catch you live again. Hey Dan, let me know how I can help you. How often are your deals added to your leads 2.0? I've just purchased 85 tokens. Monday to Friday, we do it all the time. I can give you a little bit of an update. I have internal stats. I don't do it. So by the way, I'm looking like the USA, we've probably had 30 deals added today so far. The UK, we've had 28 added so far. These, Monday to Friday, we're getting a lot in. Some days you're going to get more than the others. Like the other day, I think we had probably 20, and then we had 35 come in. It kind of goes up and down. So you are getting a lot of deals that come and go, but they get added in throughout the day, Monday to Friday, generally in the mornings, my team in the Philippines. So that's a big thing to check. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, glad you're enjoying it. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And also we've got the new ungating feature, or gated feature now, that we show you if the deals are gated or not. So that's really good. So Ricardo, thanks Tom. No problem, glad I can help. Let's kind of go through. Gaming Mama, what's the best way to use credit cards for FBA? So really 2 points. So we have 2 types of credit cards. One's a charge card, one's a credit card. We generally use our charge cards, get it right, Tom, for all purchasing. Why? A couple of reasons. Number one, credit cards have great fraud protection. If something goes wrong, by the way, your card is going to get stolen. I promise you that. It's not going to get stolen as in physically, but the card number someone is going to find out about. One day you're going to buy something from a bad website because the deal looks too good, and you are going to get fraud on your card. I hate to say it. I've had it so many times. It's awful. It hasn't been awful because we've done the right measures, but fraud does happen, even if you try and do everything the best you can. So we use credit cards all the time, wherever possible. Never use debit cards. Why? Because if you have fraud, then you can literally just call the card company and say, look, this wasn't me, and they'll basically give you the money back straight away. Debit company, we've done it with debit as well, had problems. Oh my God, it takes months. Imagine having thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds in your account disappeared for months while you're waiting for a fraud charge to come back. It's oh my God. So number one, we use them for fraud protection. Number two, customer service is way better on credit cards. Like if you've got problems, voila, customer service works better. Number three is the fact that you get reward points. I absolutely love reward points. You know, right now, I'm literally in this hotel costs £500 a night. It's an all-inclusive Marriott 5-star. My girlfriend and I are here, and I've not paid a penny because we've all used it on points. And then finally, the fourth one is the fact that the more you use the card, the more credit they give you, which is fantastic. But so charge cards we use really like Amex because we get great points. Cosamina 3, hey, I can see it here. So we generally use charge cards for the majority of our transactions because I just like the points, they work better, they're more flexible. We can sometimes use credit cards. Now, what we will generally do is have money in our business and we're just trying to like spend all that money. So we're at the beginning of the week, we'll have what's known as our cash flow, cash balance, and we're basically just going to go, how much money do I have available to spend this week after I've, you know, once I've taken into account all my bills? And then our job is to spend all that. And we spend it through the credit cards. So what that might mean is that I might have money in my bank account. I will pay down my credit cards so that, say, for example, my credit card's got 100,000 limit and I might be able to spend 70,000 this week. So that's the amount of cash I've got. But I'm going to take the 100,000 from cash and pay off the credit card to, you know, 70,000 in cash and pay off the credit cards, and then use the credit cards to go spend the money. And I kind of think about it as like credit cards are the conduit in which we spend the money through. Number one, the rewards, the protection, etc. But it just allows us to, you know, kind of move the money back, you know, because once we spend it through the credit card, it then goes into stock, and then it goes into Amazon, and then it comes back around to the bank account, and then the bank account we pay off the credit card, and then we spend the money back on the credit card again. So really, that's all we're doing. Nothing ever gets done in cash. Always credit cards, rewards, protection, and that really helps out. And that's how it works within the business. Now, another common question is if I have a personal credit card that I want to introduce into the business, how do I do it? Well, one of the top tips we did is we created a Stripe account. They don't cost anything to create. We get a Stripe account. We have Xero account as well. You don't really need Xero, but it just helps for your accounting. So we create an invoice to the business and we bill it to me as the director, and we call it a director's loan. And we call it like, say, for example, my personal credit card's 5,000. I'll write a £5,000 personal loan account, and I'll create an invoice for that amount. And then when I create the invoice, I can download the PDF, and because it's linked to Stripe, we'll have a pay by card or pay now button. So I'll click that, and then what I'll do is I'll just basically use my personal credit card with 0% interest. I'll pay the 5,000 onto to pay off that loan, which is now transfers the money from the personal credit card into my business account. Admittedly, it's going to be like a 3% fee. It does cost you. It's not great, but like it's just a really clean way of moving money and very you know, you can literally see the money moved. And then Stripe will deposit a few days later into my bank account, and then all it does is just goes into the cycle. That's it. Really, really simple. So hope that makes sense, Gaming Mama. Let me know down below. I think it's a really good question. I might try to do. I'm going to write that down in my little. When am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? Oh my God! I just had it. Tasks. Done. Bang. And then we want to do, what is it? How credit cards work cycle money. Fine. Cool. I like that one. Good question. Jay Kaplan. Okay, thanks. Fantastic. Massive action. Are you taking boxes? Now, talking of boxes, my team has nearly sent 1,000 FBA boxes. Wow, that's a lot in the last 90 days. Obviously, I do some with RA too. With that growing team, that's the best thing I've done for my business. Yeah, agreed. Like, you know, saving money on boxes, doing what you can do. Sean, let me know if you're like, I appreciate we talked about yesterday, but like Royal Mail strikes causing problems. People are calling DHL trying to get orders booked in, and DHL are like, we're capping everything. We can't handle the volumes. It's causing really, really big problems. So yeah, but hey, well done for you. Like boxes and like saving money on boxes and obviously doing a team. And you also talked about here, you got a single mum working there 16 hours a week, and it suits her best. She's awesome, and she works in the girls from home too. One of the best, to be fair. Yeah, fantastic. I love it. Like, you know, like they just kind of, they know what they want. They get on with it. Really, really good work. Great work ethic. So fantastic. And Gaming Mama honestly showing what is possible as well. Give me 2 seconds. Just going to go through. So, Geely, does Amazon collect VAT on behalf of sellers, or does one need to charge it? No. So basically, like if you're thinking about VAT, and that is very different. The way VAT's collected is very different to sales tax. So in the US, it's really simple. Tom wants to sell Hershey's delicious chocolate for $10. Cool. But he sells it for $10, and then you add on the sales tax on top. Done. Simple. Now, if Tom wants to sell Hershey's chocolate for $10 in the UK, or £10, should we say? Well, if he sells it for £10, he's got to then pay the VAT, which is 20% of the sale price. Really, it works out about 16.6666 recurring. Now, obviously, Tom sold it for $10, and he had to, and in that £10, sorry, there is VAT to be paid. It's owed. It's called tax that is owed. Tax is due on the purchase of the sale. I think it's called output tax. But obviously, Tom bought Hershey's for maybe £5, but on that £5, there was also VAT that he paid. Now, regardless of whether Tom is VAT registered or not VAT registered, if the transaction happens in the same country, we always, regardless of who you are, if you're VAT registered or not, you're always paying VAT. The only difference about being VAT registered is your ability to reclaim that VAT from the government. Sorry, I've got a fly, really annoying. No, I didn't. Is your ability to reclaim that VAT, should we say, on your purchases. But also, when you reclaim it, you also now have to pay the VAT on your sales. So what's like, and by the way, paying it, what do I mean? So let's say, for example, like, I don't know, like Tom's VAT registered seller, I'm going to do it over here. Tom's a VAT registered seller. He's selling this product and he's selling it to, a non-VAT registered person. So when I sell the product, the price I sell it for includes VAT. So the non-VAT registered person will pay the VAT, but he can't reclaim it on his purchase because he's non-VAT registered. But if Tom's VAT registered and he sells it to another VAT registered seller, they're still going to physically pay the VAT. Like literally, Tom's going to sell his product with VAT to the VAT registered seller. The VAT registered seller is physically going to give me the cash, including the VAT, the tax. But this time, the VAT registered seller who purchased it from Tom can now reclaim that price of VAT that was paid by themselves when they purchased it from Tom. That's the like kind of different. It is a bit like complex. That's not a nice thing. If you really want to like just understand it to a better level, I did a really good video, and I mean promise you a really good video. FastTrackFBA.com. Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, sorry, just type in like VAT, it'll be like how that works. I give you a complete breakdown of like non-VAT and VAT, how it works, what the actual things are, what you do in cash and what you do in technicalities as well, and the way the whole process works. So you understand that. But Amazon will basically charge you VAT. It doesn't collect anything on behalf of sellers. That's your job. And it will also charge you regardless of whether you're VAT registered or not. When you're VAT registered, it does get a little bit more complex, called reverse EC charge. Not going to get into it, but like you'll know that when you get into VAT registered time. But if you're not sure, you're generally paying VAT all the time. That's it. Let's kind of go through. Dan King, do you have a Discord server of any sort? FastTrackFBA.com/Facebook, my Facebook group. I'm in there. I do talk. You can just go to Facebook, Fast Track FBA. You'll see it. So yeah, you can join that as well, Dan. Obviously, ask questions away. Simon Jones, hey Tom, is there a mobile app for SDK? Because I can't find one. If I use SDK, my laptop looks very, it'd be good if there's an app. Yeah, look, it's just a web page. Just load it up on your web page. Look, voila. On my computer, on my laptop, on my whatever that is, on my phone. It's just a web page, so there isn't really an app. Just load it up on your phone. That's all it takes. So yeah, Simon, hope that helps. Let's kind of jump through. Kosimina3 on Instagram said hi. Let's go. Wow, you got a lot of questions on here. You guys are doing really good. Sonia, what factors determine the quantity of units to buy of a single item? Generally speaking, we buy 1 month's worth of supply, and I'm going to take the listing sale. So and I'm going to divide it by the number of people who I think are on the buy box. So if the listing is selling 30 units per month and there are 4 people on the listing, we're going to add 1 more because there'll be 5 with me. And then that makes 30 divided by 5 sellers equals 6 per seller. So I might look at 6. And if the other sellers have got generally less than 6 stock, I'll probably buy a bit more than 6 stock. But if they've got a lot more than 6 stock, I might buy a little bit less. About 1 month's worth of stock. That's what I'm looking for. So really, it's going to be listing sales, competition, and then the sellers stock on that listing. Hope that makes sense. Let's go through. I really enjoy this. Let me know if you like Hershey's chocolate orange. This is really good. I'm running out. Right, I'm using a prep center. My prep center is in Texas. Cool. And my billing address is in Michigan. How do I change my billing address to Texas? Growing my business channel to the UK. You have to speak to your card provider. The only way you can do it, change your card. Speak to your card provider and say, hey, I want to change my address of my card. And you could, the best way to do it is you just explain to them, hey, like, I'm having problems whereby I need to ship things here and my car's getting declined. What can I do about it? You've got to speak to your car provider. That's the way it works. That's how it happens. But like, by the way, my Amex isn't like that way, and we still get a lot of orders through. It generally works quite fine. Just kind of figure out what suppliers are good and which ones aren't. So I hope that makes sense. Bina Chowdhury. Hi, Tom. In regards to invoices for business customers, if you are non-VAT registered and do FBA, are you obliged to provide an invoice and Amazon takes care of that? So you have to provide an invoice, regardless of whether you're VAT registered or not, you still have to provide an invoice. But you can let the customer know, hey, we're not VAT registered. Would you still like a non-VAT registered invoice? And 9 times out of 10, they'll come back to you and say, no, like, don't worry about it. They're looking for the VAT registered, and it's generally business customers. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's really like you still have to provide invoices under Amazon's terms, but it's only like really the customers are looking for a VAT registration number so they can claim the VAT back, and you're not going to have that, so it's not going to help. So I hope that makes sense. Dan King, hey Dan. Bina, let me know. Bina Chowdhury, let me know down below if that answers your question. Dan King, do you make more profit from your Amazon sales or Fast Track FBA and the social media side of things? It depends. Certain times of year we do better in Fast Track FBA, so certain times of year we do better in Amazon. Like last year, I won't lie, like we did multiple 5 figures of profit in December alone in my Amazon UK business, multiple 5 figures. Like it was a really lovely month. I was like, quite like this game. But there were going to be months where like January was a good time for us because we did a promotion on VAs, and we made more profit in that month than we did in our Amazon business. Why? Because we just took a lot of revenue. So sometimes it does go up through Fast Track FBA, and sometimes the Amazon do. If you're looking purely at revenue, then obviously Amazon would always win. But the very nature of it is that a service-based company is always generally higher profit margins than what a product-based company is. And I hope you understand that. I don't have to share all this. I quite like it all, and I'm not here like buying buy. Like hopefully I give you a lot of value. So I hope that makes sense as well. But yeah, it depends. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, and depending on each one. My God, there's times when I've even lost money in my Amazon business. There's times when I've lost money in Fast Track FBA just because of how the accounting works. That month we spent more than we earned, for example. Like December right now in my Fast Track FBA business with a high payroll cost and 13th month pay really eats up. So that's something that we're like, ooh. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Dan King, do you source from shops with low order quantity limits, say Tesco and other supermarkets? So if the supplier has got low quantities, but you can put multiple orders through, or they don't cancel if we use multiple accounts, then we wouldn't have a problem with that. But if it's like Boots, for example, in the UK, and they keep limiting you to like 3s or 4s, and then should we say the idea is that they get cancelled, or then we wouldn't work it. Like what we got to think about is time for money equation. Like buying product is really, really important. So we want to like make sure that we kind of the suppliers are selling from, even if they reduce the quantity you can buy in one shopping basket, if they allow you to keep doing it, then we're not too worried. Hope that makes sense, Dan. Let me know down below if that's helpful. Let's kind of jump through massive action. Yes, merchant orders are slowing down massively too. I didn't post merchant today. I'll do it tomorrow as Royal Mail strikes end after tomorrow, and I've only got 23 parcels eBay and Amazon to do so far. Yeah, like I've seen it. Yeah, I've definitely seen it. So it's a really interesting point. Like other people have talked about it. Things are slowing down. So yeah, it's a really good point. 1 second. Save that. Save. Fine. Next one. Tom or Sonia. Tom, first time I didn't see you drink coffee. Oh, I've had a lot of coffees today. I really would like to sleep. My girlfriend's falling asleep right now. I'm very jealous. So she's looking at me. She's like, no, she's smiling now. But I would love to drink. I'd love to have a coffee, or I think I have had coffee. I had coffee about an hour ago. But yeah, like it's pretty good coffee here. Although it'll just make me fat, so I can't drink too many. But yeah, hope that makes sense. So yeah, definitely need to be drinking more coffee. Point taken, Sonia. Sorry, next time I'll come on the coffee. Himson. Does lowering your ROI and min profit per product reduce your ability to be flexible when competing against other sellers? Well, yeah, but like you got to be a bit careful. Like if you reduce down your minimum ROI and minimum profit per item, then obviously you're probably more likely to get the buy box because you're selling for cheaper. That would generally be it. And generally the buy box is based on, so you're going to increase your revenue. There's a balance. Now, in my business, we can go down to a lot lower ROIs because we can do more volume. You know, let's say, for example, 100,000 at 10% is what, $10,000. But, you know, and I could live off $10,000, that's fine. But if I was doing $1,000 sales and I was going at 10%, then it would be $100. I couldn't live off $100. So 10% at a higher volume, less margin, the physical cash would be more because of the volume that we're doing. So hope that kind of makes sense. But yeah, like it doesn't help. It doesn't reduce your ability to be flexible when competing against other sellers. But but it will obviously allow you to sell the buy box. But the one thing which I will kind of add to that as well is like when sourcing, we still try and source high, but we might come down low at sale. But what we're not going to do is go source products at 10% ROI. That's just too low. There's not enough flexibility in there to, you know, compete against other people because we're just going to lose money most likely. So I hope that makes sense. Dan King, what's the best way to find new suppliers? We got Richie Resale on the Instagram. If you guys are there, do drop questions, by the way. I will just answer them, but like I'm not seeing any questions coming through on Instagram. Maybe I'm being a bit stupid, but I can see it. If you're on Instagram, I am here. So I do want to let you guys know. So what's the best way to find new suppliers? I feel like I'm the same Lucas suppliers from Storefront Stalking. Stop storefront stalking, start doing reverse sourcing, find some great products, go around. We've got a top 100 supplier list. If you check out if you're on like YouTube or whatever, you can just go to fasttrackfba.com/my-secrets. You can get my top 100 UK and USA supplier list. That'll help you out. Just like, by the way, just reverse source. Don't just do storefront stalking, reverse source. Look for new suppliers. Keep doing that. That's one of the most important things. I can't stress it enough. Like new suppliers, you've got to be looking for them. They will make you money. The main reason for you purchasing the leads is to get new suppliers. Yeah, we do it. We do. Lots of people talk about when they do Fast Track FBA leads. When they do Fast Track FBA lead service, that's the lead service I have. They will generally find a lot of new suppliers that they've never found before because my team use. By the way, they're my deals, and that's really good. So that really does help out. So yeah, I think that's something to really be mindful of is that, you know, you can get them, and, you know, lead services can really help with that, like Fast Track FBA/leads. That can really help you as well. Let's go through Jilly. Thanks, Tom, for the explanation on that. I don't add that to the price, while that is automatically added for the business customers. My tax consultant to pay for the information that I needed. Yeah, I don't really know what they know. My tax consultant told me to pay for the information that I need. I don't know what that means, but like, if it's not the easiest thing to explain. There's a very good visual diagram that I created in that video. I'd really watch that video. Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, VAT. I cannot stress it enough. I should probably get it on here. I should probably get. I'll see if I can get an overlay of it, and then obviously it's going to be really helpful. So I'm just going to put it onto my notes. 1 second. Oh, I'm losing my marbles. Notes. Well, it's not called. It's called tasks, isn't it? Oh, get it right. VAT overlay. Let's get it right. Overlay. Yeah, I'll make an overlay so I can put it into these live streams when you see. I think that'd be quite helpful. Good shout. But yeah, watch that YouTube video. It's going to really, really help you out. Let's go and jump through. Thanks, Tom. Hi, Tom. Thanks so much. Cool. Glad I can help you. Let me know if questions down below. I've got about 9 minutes, guys. I do need to go get some more coffee after this. Apparently, let's put it this way. Sonia said that I'm not drinking enough coffee. So Sonia, sorry, I will find some more coffee. Let's go and jump to massive action. People are worrying they won't get it in time, but FBA sales are crazy. Agreed. But the reason why FBA sales are crazy is because Royal Mail's gone tits up, you know, gone wrong. But the other side is the fact that Amazon's own fulfillment network, and by the way, well done, Jeff, for like sorting that. He's in control of it. He's not losing it to someone else. He controls distribution. By the way, they're working fine. Like they're operating. So hence why people are like, right, go to Amazon, you're going to get it. They do the next day delivery. Like you're going to be fine. So hence why FBA sales are still doing really, really well. So Sean, good shout. XY Chan says, should we choose UK for private label in these economic conditions? Oh my God, like, I could not answer that question. You can if you want. I think the UK is a great place to start a company. It's very cheap, cost effective, no problem for that. But I wouldn't say about these economic conditions. My God, like, when's the best time to start a business? Yesterday. When's the next best time? Today. when's the worst time? Tomorrow. That's all I can probably say is the good thing. So yeah, I'd say like I don't think the economic conditions should be a consideration. There's always a problem. COVID. My God, I could tell you like 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't start a business, but for some weird reason, everyone still is, and they're making lots of money. So do keep doing it. Like I hope that it's not exactly what you're after. Should we start a private label in the economic conditions? It's up to you. I don't know the answer. Yeah, sorry, I can't give you an answer to that one. Bin Jody, yes, thanks, Tom. Do you wait for the business customer to request or provide one anyway? I was under the impression that Amazon takes over running all invoices. To be honest, I wouldn't do anything proactively. Like if they request it, then I'd provide it, but I wouldn't go about doing it all the time. If Amazon is taking care of them all, fantastic. I'm assuming if you're VAT registered, you don't need to worry. Amazon will do it automatically. But if you're not, I think you might need to do it manually. Don't quote me, but I think that's the way it works. Like we're at VAT registered, Amazon will do it automatically for us. We don't have to ever do it. But if they request one, then like we'll just tell them you can download it from here. But that's it, really. Very, very simple. So yeah, requested by the customer. Yeah, absolutely fine. So I wouldn't worry. Like I'd just be waiting. So if you don't provide it, yes, there is a problem because Amazon's requesting it, and Amazon doesn't like it when you don't listen to the customer's requests. That's bad. So do it, but it doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you have to do it in advance. You can wait. I hope that kind of makes sense. Let's kind of jump through. Jack Knowles has joined. Borochaza, happy arbitrage. Happy arbitrage. How are you getting on? How can I help you today, guys? If you guys are on Instagram, I can see it. I should probably create some kind of live stream onto. I have it like there. Like, hey guys, if you're on Instagram, this is my Instagram right here. So let's kind of do that. So, Gaming Mama, do you think the FBA sales? Do you think the FBA sales are not truly reflective of us, just higher due to the strikes, etc.? No, because my sales. By the way, like I'll show you. Like you're saying, you're basically trying to say, are the FBA sales too high? Well, look, I'm going to show you. Look at my sales. This is I'm only FBA. I'm 26% down on last year. So like, no, I don't. I would if that like I kind of know my business, and we're still down on last year, which I'm fine with. By the way, I'm not saying there's a problem with the business. I'm really happy with. We're more profitable, but the idea is the fact that I think like the idea is that FBA sales have probably had a bump, but it's not like huge. I think you'll probably continue to see it. It'll have an impact, but like I don't think the strikes are going to like make that big a difference. People are just it's annoying, like another strike. So let's go. Vinny Scales, how do you develop leaders in your business? Oh my God, I could be here forever talking about that. Let's try and do a quick fire because I've got 5 minutes. How do I develop leaders in the business? Number one, you need to create a challenging environment whereby they think for themselves. So that means you stop telling them what to do and start asking them questions and they do it. Number two, you give them responsibilities and accountability. And then finally, number three, you recognize them for every time they make a great decision or make a decision regardless of the outcome. Leaders make mistakes, that's a fact, but your job is to make and encourage that behavior and to develop it all. Oh, and then I'd probably say top tip number 4 is create a culture within your company whereby you're constantly having discussions around leadership questions, problems, discussions. So we have in my company, we have our own what's known as leaders channel, and I just kind of post in there little questions, problems, things that we do. We make a point, like for the last month, we've been, last 3 months, we've been reading a book about leadership. Like it's been incredible. Like literally, I always post little things about Simon Sinek. Absolutely love it. Like, what should you do as a leader? And I think that is really important. So, like, again, we set that culture and we develop the leaders through it. So, hope that makes sense downstairs. Hi Tom, thanks so much. Do you use VPN? Yeah, we use Repricer Express. Yeah, Repricer Express we use for our company. That's it. We have a lot of licenses. I think there are like 25 or something that the team share. So yeah, 25 VPNs licenses with Repricer Express, and they all use them. It's got the most kind of locations, so it generally works really well. And it's pretty fast. So yeah, hope that's what we use, and that's for UK and US. My purchasing managers have to use it as like a requirement. Vinny, what do you do to ensure continued development of your team? Are there any additional courses you recommend? Just build it. We got HR manager. Our HR manager is the ex people development HR partner for Pepsi Cola in the Philippines. She's really good. I like her. I just kind of challenge her, create, look at what the problems are in my team and continue to develop them. It's something which is going to be unique to your team. Like courses, like I wouldn't say courses. I'd say have consultation with people. Maybe do an external HR resource which is going to support you, especially when you've got a lot of leaders. If anything, you can actually. By the way, if you've got a VA from the Fast Track FBA VA Academy, VA Academy 2.0, you get access to my HR manager every single week. It's part of the service, as in a group support call. So if you hire a VA from us, you can have a conversation with her every week in a group support call, and she'll tell you everything. She'll tell you about how we do leadership development, what we do. She'll tell you about culture in the Philippines. Everything really, really makes a difference. Like, trust me, I think that will help you out. Thanks for doing these lives, Vinny. Thank you for the question, and thank you for spending your time with me. Let's fire through. Time is of wasting. If you have to provide you have to provide manually if not bad registered. Yeah, so this is invoices. So yeah, thank you so much for that one. We got one here coming through. I think it's Kosamina 3. Any tips for Q1? Yeah, on Instagram, tips for Q1. By the way, if you are looking at Q1, thinking now, you should be buying for everything you're buying now will be sold in Q1. Open up the keeper chart, not the 3 months by default. Go all the way back to the 1 year. Look at January last year when you're sourcing now, not December, November, the last 3 months, which is what everyone looks at. Go back to the January time. Why? Because you will, when these products you buy today are going to be sold, they're going to be sold in January next year. So January is very different to December. Go back to January. Like if you're looking at an advent calendar now, you're thinking, wow, this is going to be amazing. It's slowed down a little bit, but it's going to be an amazing deal. No, it's not. Like January is going to die. So like look at January 2022 to predict what's going to happen in January 2023. That's what I can stress. Kosamina3 on Instagram. Hope that helps. Gorkum. Hey. I can see you guys if you're on Instagram. Just want to say a big thank you. VPN provider. We use ExpressVPN, and that's just come through from WinSeller. Thank you very much. Let's kind of quickly jump through. Thanks for doing these lives. When you shop from Walmart, do they send invoice? No, you have to request it. It's not a very good invoice. I think you have to request it. That's it. Thinking, how does it work sending products to prep centers with multiple orders from the store with low quantity order? They just get multiple orders. That's it. Like 20 orders. Ideally, you want to kind of make each order slightly different, like quantity or something, but because then they're easier to check in. But sometimes you can't do that. Like you're like 6666. You don't know if it's the exact one, but they should all have paperwork at them so they can read the right order tracking number. That's it. It's very simple. But you just keep sending them in. That's it. Thanks for the help today. Good value. I just want to say thank you to you guys. You're absolutely on fire with the questions. So thank you so much. Being a challenge, as always, thank you for the tips and advice. Much appreciated. No, thank you so much. GMAC, do you pay to get ungated on products? If so, how much is it? We don't. I've never ever paid a service to get me ungated. Obviously, I do pay to buy the products to get ungated, but I've never paid for a service to ungate me. But like, if you're looking to get ungated, Harrison's direct in the UK, EE distribution in the USA. There's some really good ones, but I really, really look at them. I think that's going to be like something that's going to help you out, and that can be very useful to support you in what, like getting the products that you need to ungate. But really, you just got to go to one of those places, buy 10 of them, done. That's it. Very, very simple. So I hope that makes sense. GMAC, hope that helps you. How much profit do you think 20,000 sales would be? If I'm going to say 10% margin, it might be like $2,000. If you're going 15% margin, 3,000. So, I think if you're just starting out, you could do, depends how long you're doing it. If you're doing 20K in a month, you're probably going to only make about 2,000 out of it, maybe 1,500, probably 2,000 of cash back. And a kind of realistic estimate, you could go higher, definitely. But if you're doing it over the course of a year, 20,000, I think you could probably make 3,000 out of that quite happily, if not 4,000, quite happily in 20 grand's worth of sales. But again, it's that time you're doing it for. Sorry for the late question, but does Complete Saving have a large range of retailers? Yes, it does. I'm thinking try them out. Do not spend more than £250 a month, or do not get more than 200. Do not go over £200 a month cash back. They will ask questions. I know you want to do the 250 cash back every month. Ooh, don't do it. I've lost so many accounts on them. We used to have 5 accounts, lost them all, couldn't be bothered. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Kosamina3, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the hour is nigh. The time is upon us. I do just want to say a big thank you. I will catch you same time tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. This time is like 9 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Central time. Let me know if you have questions. Bring them tomorrow. I will answer them. But between now and then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. Keep smashing the business. Keep getting those orders sold. And look at your pricing. And now remember, you are buying for Q1. Q1 is the important time. Stay safe, people. Bye-bye. Woo!